Okay, so today I'd like to show you three essential jazz patterns. These are three must-know major chord kind of patterns that that incorporate the major scale and the major 7 arpeggio. And I'm going to show them to you in the key of F because I was working with a student earlier, and he was working on the tune round midnight, and it gets to the end of round midnight. There's this beautiful major pattern or major 7 chord, and I was demonstrating, and I played something along the lines of what you just heard me play. And he heard that, and he really dug it. So I went ahead and decided that's the key I'll show you this stuff in. And of course, like always, I'll include a written cheat sheet that has the three patterns for you. And if you'd like to just send me an email, go to my website beginningsax.com and drop me an email, and I'll be happy to send this information to you, these patterns written out. But let's start out with pattern number 1. So take a listen to pattern number 1. And I played it 3 times because I think it's important that you be able to play these repeatedly without having mistakes, so that you really develop fluency, accuracy, technique through the more challenging keys, etc. So let's start out by playing the major scale. And as you play the major scale, the F major scale, and I've got it written here. You'll see I've got it written and I've got it numbered. I want you to think the numbers as you play it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can play it up and down if you want to, or just up for the moment. Now, our first pattern is really based on the 1, 3, 5, 7 major arpeggio. So let's locate those numbers, and again, if you count it as you played: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's your F major 7 arpeggio, F, A, C, E. Now, for our first pattern, what we want to do is we want to take that 7, the E, and we want to precede our first F, the low F. We want to precede it with a low E. So we want to play E, then F, A, C, E. So we'll just go 7, 1, 3, 5, 7. Which is a beautiful sound all on its own, but I like putting the triplet with it, the triplet rhythm. 1, triplet, 3, triplet. So we'll start with the 7. We'll play F, A, C. That's 1, 3, 5 as an 8th note triplet, targeting the 7 at the top, targeting the high 7. So we're starting with the low 7, 1, 3, 5, targeting the high 7, and then we'll just descend the same tones: 5, 3, 1, 7. So. And you can play it multiple times, and you can even, as you use this pattern, you can even play the first note, the first E, as an 8th note if you'd like, which is how you'll often hear it. And this is often used to anticipate passages. So we're going to take this pattern number 1. Now my suggestion would be to practice this pattern in all 12 keys. You can go circle of fourths if you like, or any sequence you'd like, etc. etc. You want to just develop the ability to play it smoothly, cleanly through the keys. Okay, now pattern number 2 uses our ascending portion of this pattern, and then we're gonna target again the 7. Now on this one, we're actually going to extend the range of our scale down to the low 6. So we've got the major scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we descend, we can reach on down, keep going down the scale. So I played 8, 7, 6, 7, 8. So we're just extending the range of the scale because we're going to incorporate those tones in this pattern. Now, like I mentioned, the pattern goes up the ascending portion of pattern number 1 and triple it to the 7. And here, now once we reach the 7, we're going to drop down to the 5. and play 7, 5, and then a scale tone. And in the example, you can see I've got ST written. That stands for scale tone. Scale tone back to the 7. So 7 to the 5, scale tone back to the 7. And it's not just a random scale tone, it's the scale tone that's situated between 5 and 7. It's actually the 6th, but I don't want to have to think too many numbers as we play this, because this is really all about targeting arpeggio tones, chord tones, and then using the scale en route to these chord tones. So 7, 5, scale tone back to the 7. Now we're going to repeat the same concept. We're going to go to the 5, down to the 3rd. So we're just we're skipping 7 to 5, and now we're doing 5 to 3 and a scale tone back up to 5. So I'm starting on 5. That's the C, C, A, B flat, A. Now we're going to do the same thing. 3 to the 1, a scale tone back to the 3, and now to the low root, the low 1, and we're going to drop root or 1 down to the 6 and back up a scale tone en route to the root of the chord again. And then we'll just end it on the 7. So listen to it. Maybe a little faster. And of course, work it through the different keys using the same principle. Etc. Now, for our third pattern, now like we previously did in pattern number 2, we're going to use these chord tones as departure and arrival tones. So we're going to start on the major 7. We're going to ascend the triplet to the 7 up to the 9. We're going to play 7, scale tone to the 9, then back to the 7. So we've got the chord tone, the E, the 7, that we're going to use as a point of departure, 7 to the 9, then back to the 7. Now 5 up to the 7, 5 scale tone to the 7. We could think 5, 6, 7, or 5 scale tone 7, and then back to the 5. Now the same thing starting from the 3rd. 3 scale tone 5, and back to the 3, and now root scale tone to the 3rd, then back to the root, and our destination, our final destination, is the major 7. So the whole pattern. So some really neat sounding patterns. Listen to all 3 of them. Pattern number 1. Pattern number 2. And pattern number 3. These are really great patterns for improvisation and for just learning and knowing these major chords, because these all go with like major 7 chords or any kind of major chord basically. At least major 7, major 6, major 9 chords, or just plain major chords. Now we might alter the scale a little bit if we had a major 7 sharp 11, so we're not going to talk about that one. But these just go with your basic major chords. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to visit my website, beginningsax.com, and check out all of my jazz improv lessons. I've got tons of lessons there, and also I have a subscription site if you'd like to join for monthly subscription, full access to all of my lessons. randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv. And if you would like a copy of the written portion of this with everything written out in all 12 keys, of course, now your objective is really to learn these things without having them written out. You want to just know these patterns through all the keys. All the great jazz musicians, I promise you, know these patterns. These are very basic vocabulary, but if you'd like to have them written out, be sure to visit beginningsax.com and go to the contact page, and you'll find my email address there. Don't even worry about filling out the contact form. Just send me a direct email from the website there. Okay,